It's honestly really funny how the one exact group of people, known as the investors and shareholders, that the platform has always desperately wanted to please, are still not happy enough with them, and it turns out that after so many months of the Roblox stock value continuously going down, 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 they're actually facing a serious class action lawsuit from those very same people. But to clear things up, the stock value right now has actually increased over the last few days, so you might be wondering if this whole situation is properly overdue. However, we need to look at this part of the graph. This part of the graph tells you everything you need to know about why the investors are very, very angry. Because what we're looking at today is a situation where a national shareholder rights firm called Higgins Berman is stepping in to represent investors who lost a ton of money after a really bad first quarter report was released on April 30, 2026. The people who bought the stock are completely furious because the corporation ended up wiping out $6.7 billion, yes I know 6-7 whatever, from the total market capitalization in just a single day. This all happened because the platform released a report showing a very large drop in their daily active users, which caused the stock price to plummet by $10 the very next time the market opened, which is something I actually covered in one of my previous videos. That drop represented an 18% loss for anyone holding the stock at the time, which is a very bad drop for investors who trusted the company to keep growing at the fast pace they were promised. Now the main focus of this entire legal battle centers entirely around the way that the company communicated about the new age shift verification rollout that originally began back in November 2025. This rollout was supposedly aimed at increasing safety with certain social features on the platform, and throughout the entire time period leading up to the crash, the management team kept telling everyone that it was the gold standard of safety features. They constantly told their investors that this new verification system was going to be implemented with no friction at all, meaning they promised it would not slow down the growth of the platform or cause any noticeable issues for the people logging into play. In fact, the company was actively bragging about the higher growth in daily active users and their related revenue and bookings growth during the exact same time period, which made the investors feel very confident that their money was in a very safe place. The situation gets even more interesting when you look closely at what David Bajussi said during a fourth quarter earnings call that happened on February 5th, 2026. During that specific call, an analyst asked him a direct question to get more details about how the HTech rollout was actually performing, and he responded by assuring all the investors that they were very excited and proud of the way the age verification rollout had gone. So you have David Bajussi publicly stating that everything is going perfectly fine, which naturally led the shareholders to continue buying and holding onto their stock between October 30th, 2025 and April 30th, 2026. But the lawsuit is now officially alleging that the corporation was making false and misleading statements while purposely failing to disclose important information to investors about the true reality of the company and its potential to keep growing. The legal complaint goes into very specific details, claiming that the company knew they would see a very big slowdown in growth because the number of people actually enrolling in the age-check system was going to taper off very quickly. And this failure to get people to verify their age was heavily compounding a shutdown in online platform communication, which then directly resulted in a whole lot of negative App Store rating reductions and a very quick drop in organic growth of the platform. The investors were completely blinded by everything David Bajussi told them until that very day on April 30th, 2026, when the company finally had to report their actual financial results for the first quarter, and that's when the investors realized that they literally got scammed. That report revealed a very steep deceleration in growth for daily active users, both sequentially and year over year, which forced the company to cut down their overall revenue guidance for the rest of 2026. And perhaps the most damaging piece of information from that report was when they had to severely cut their bookings growth midpoint from 24% all the way down to just 10%. When the company tried to explain why all this was happening, they basically blamed their bad situation on the fact that only 51% of their global daily active users had actually completed the HTAG process. They further revealed to the public that because of this HTAG requirement, they were seeing a reduction in their App Store ratings, and they admitted this was likely contributing to the loss of signups that typically come directly from the App Stores. They even contradicted their earlier promises about a friction-free experience by stating that the lowered business prospects were the direct result of the continued friction caused by the HTAG rollout. So the investors who lost their money are looking at a situation where the company promised a gold standard system with no friction in February, only to turn around in April and blame their horrible financial numbers on the continued friction of that exact same system. This is exactly why the Higgins Berman's law firm is aggressively investigating legal claims that the company and its co-defendants completely violated federal security laws. A partner at the firm named Reed Catherine publicly stated that they're highly focused on figuring out exactly when the management team actually knew about the adverse consequences of the HTAG rollout and whether they intentionally misled the investors about it the entire time. The law firm is encouraging any investors who suffer substantial losses to submit their information right now so they can join the lawsuit and potentially recover some of the money they lost. And it will be very interesting to see how the court handles these accusations and whether the investors that Roblox so desperately try to please will actually be able to hold the corporation accountable for wiping out such a huge amount of their money in such a short period of time. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.